Ve'ir Hashem Parshas Matos masei Tovshin Pei Vov. There's a posuk in Mishlei. Toiv pas charevo v'shalvo bo. Pas charevo means dry bread. It's better to have simple bread with nothing on it. If you have calmness with it, v'shalvo bo, rather than having bayis molei, a full house, with ziv cheriv. Now the simple taich of this posuk is a common sense, a simple idea that many times it's much easier for a person to have simple food, nothing major, but he has his peace of mind, than having all kinds of interesting types of foods, but a lot of conflict, a lot of toxic environment there. And sometimes you could have a person telling you, why don't you come over? There's going to be a lot of food, there's going to be, everybody's coming. You're going to sit yourself to Shabbos the Gesuda. It's going to be so depressing. And the person could be thinking to himself after having some experience, it's much more Shabbosdik. I'd rather have my calmness and my peace of mind than having bias mole, but there's a lot of meriva, there's a lot of conflict there. Because the nefesh of a person gets satisfied from Yishuv Adas and getting what the nefesh needs more than having a piece of meat. So even though maybe physically a piece of bread is not a lot, but if I can have my calmness with it, in the overall I'm satisfied. I ate, I'm fine. We find B'derech Klal Stamad Suda is a time which the physical, the food, that goes into the guf, goes together with nefesh. It goes together. You sit together, you even see, you give a person a geschmack, you schmooze, it goes together. So a person that has pas chareva, but he has also the shalva, then they go out much better than having a balagan, a big matziv, but there's a lot of conflict. People come out very tired. They have to have a chofesh afterwards. So Rashi, on that posuk in Mishlei, I think it's Perek Yud Zayin posuk Aleph, Rashi says, or Perek Yud Ches posuk Aleph, the first posuk of a Perek, Rashi says, that goes on the Churm, that the Rebbeinu Shalom said, that I know that by being there's no Beis Hamikdash, there will be no korbanos, there's no bosor, there's no bayis mole. But I would rather have that than having the korbanos that the Yidden brought to me, but it wasn't with the right state of mind, and it was full of conflict. So it would be better off that way. That's what Rashi says. B'Shem the Medish and the Metzudas and a few Meforshim explain that that's really what it means. It's a marshal, it's an example, but the real Nakuda was that. It means you see there's no Beis Hamikdash, and what do you mean there's no Korbanos, and the Shechina's and Galus, and the Shechina says, well, it's all better than what it was, because it wasn't good. So let's try to analyze this concept, and it should help us a little bit with how to think in the 3 weeks, and how we can fix. Let's give an example that's a bit more painful, but it's the 3 weeks. Someone decided that he doesn't think that this marriage could work anymore. Doesn't look like it could work. They've been trying, professionals, and they're doing all kinds of ideas for years, but it's really tough, and he's about to give up. And someone asks him, do you have what it means that you're going to be lonely in a house? You're going to be just by yourself. So if the person knows how to verbalize his feelings sometimes in certain cases the answer, what lies behind his answer is, I'm much more lonely when I'm with her. Much more lonely. There's a depth to this kind of, what is loneliness? Loneliness is not me and the four walls. Loneliness means that nobody gets me, but to what extent? And it could be so complicated, and I could be humiliated, and it could go to such an extent that if I could just be by myself, let me just be. I can't be myself. It says, "Lo tov v'yesh adam levadoi." But if I'm more levadoi when I'm with somebody else, then I have no sense of myself. Now I can't be myself. Okay? It's very painful. But there's a havona here. Now the Rebbeinu Shalom is saying Galus is terrible. Galus is terrible. But when someone's by their own, they're missing a spouse, they're missing company, they're missing the geschmack. But when you have a relationship that's messed up, it's much more complicated than not having a relationship. It's much more complicated. Because a messed up relationship is like your fault. No, it's because of you. It gets so complicated. When people they just don't understand each other and do everything wrong. Of course we try to fix, but if it's kolu kolak, if there's no breda, then it is what it is. It's mizbeach murder of the mois is not very geschmack, but there is such a concept. Le'inyoneinu, the Beis Hamikdash was a place of relationship, of shaykhs. First of all, that's where Yid came to thank. You know, a person has a simcha, they want to report. They take that phone afterwards and they want to tell someone they had a baby. They want to, Baruch Hashem, I did a shidduch last night. They want to tell someone. Who do you want to tell? Who do you want to tell? It's got a good indicator for a person to feel his relationships. Someone that I'm in such a good relationship with that person that you feel that person's be'em is happy. And if you can share the simcha, it's it's a true zach. You could share, I could feel that regesh together with somebody else. Who that person is, not always the same. It could sometimes be family, it could sometimes not be family. It could be the person that's officially your best friend. It could be the person that's not officially. It's an akuda that's in the heart. So a person had a Yeshua, he went to the Beis Hamikdash, and he bought a korban toida, and a shalomim, and it was a deep relationship with the Rebbeinu Shalom. The relationship was so powerful that you were able to do tshuva there. You were able to be honest. You were able to be honest there. If I had a mess up, who am I going to tell? Who am I going to discuss it with? How am I going to fix it? With someone that the trust is so strong, and the understanding that person is not going to throw me away. So I could share it. So I could bring a chatas, I could bring a oil. There's such a strong relationship there that we could talk about it. We could put it on the table. You saw the Rebbeinu Shalom Kaviyachol. Eibusha saw us. We came to say Gut Yontif. We came to be with the Rebbeinu Shalom. This is the merkaz, the center of the hearts, of the leiv of Yiddish kinder, that this is where I could be open, this is where I could really be. This is where I could be. More than anything was that relationship. And that's very, very important, the chap, that's the nakuda. If there's everything around, but the nefesh of the person is not in the right place, then you can bring a chatos. You can bring all of that, because it's just making things worse. Just to give an example of this concept, we could ask ourselves a question, a very interesting question. The Beis Hamikdash, which is the nicest, most beautiful place, the Shechina is there, and the most holy alles. Now, the main Tasuka, the main business, what was going on in the Azora? Korbanos, because someone messed up. So it came Yontif. So in order not to be able to achas, so he came with some chatois and oilus and ashomois, and that's mainly what we do there. Imagine a person would have a conflict with his partner in business. He was really messed up there. He holds that the contract was meant this, it didn't mean this, and they really don't understand each other. They don't see it eye to eye. So this partner felt that he has a moedig idea. The other partner is making chasana. So after the chuppah, when I give him mazel tov, he's in a good mood. Maybe I should discuss it with him then. I went out, he gave him mazel tov, and he said, "You remember what we wrote? I grabbed a hold that I came to tell you." That's when it doesn't make any sense. So we come to the Beis Hamikdash. We come to that. So finally, he came to Yerushalayim. So Korban Toida, okay. He came to say, he came to learn Lishkas Agozis, but he came there to discuss the issues that you'll do in the back some other time. You know, in Chodesh Tammuz there's a little office there. The left, there's no sign on the door, you know, that type. It doesn't say that door, and he'll take care of business. What's Takab Pshat? It's very simple. The answer is very simple. That's because it's two partners. They don't really have anything in common besides that they happen to be in this business. So when you raise issues of conflict with someone that you don't really have a deep relationship with, it just brings out the richuk. It brings out how far we are, because we're really far. So on day to day we don't really discuss it. But when something happens, then I say what I really feel. So it's very painful. But what would happen if it would be a child coming to their parent after realizing that they did something wrong, and they were looking for the right opportunity, when should I say it? But they want to come and just say it. They feel it's in the air, and it's a shod. I don't want to come yontif, and we both know there's a beer in the room. So I want to, after I come, I just wanted to say, I feel terrible. I feel terrible. I should have never said that. When it's a relationship that's be'emes deep, it's just that there was a shvacha minut, and a person, but the relationship is very, very deep. So what happens is that being open and having charota is something that builds it. So the father's reaction is, I want to give you a hug, because I knew you're going to get to that day. The Beis Hamikdash was a place of closeness. It was a place, the tachlis of a Yiddish dveikus. Here we could do it at best. Part of it is being open, honest. Taking care of issues that a person has charota, but that's what we do in Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is the most beautiful day, but it's a av, it's a vino malkeinu. So that ki onu amecha, we say Yom Kippur, anu bornecha, so that's so beautiful. So we're honest and we bring out what we really want to be, and all of a sudden the chait is like something that's not me. It's not me. So the chait falls away. The person shines. I knew this is who the Yid is. So that's dveikis with the Rebbeinu Shalom. That's emesis closeness with the Rebbeinu Shalom. So now, when that's not happening, there's two situations when that's not happening. One situation is that we don't right now discuss it in length. We're far apart in a certain sense. We could talk about it, but not get into the nitty-gritty details. We could say charota where we can bring a korban. It's a shtickle distance. That's one mahalach. There's another mahalach, but that mahalach could get very, very messy. And that is if the child comes and says what's going on, they bring the korban but they don't really mean it. They're busy with something else. They're in the Azora taking a selfie with the chatos. They're just not around, nobody's home. The person that's supposed to now have that relationship comes in and doesn't know what relationship means. That hurts much more. If she prepared a supper and worked so hard and bought flowers, or sign something, he should be here, and he came not that he can't come tonight. No, he came, but he was on the phone. It hurts double. He came and was busy with such technicals that the pain is so deep that then she calls the mumcha and says, I'm asking him to give it a try, but I think he has no idea. I don't know if he's capable. Doesn't chap. That's much more painful. Now the posik that says Toiv pas chareva v'shal v'bo was explaining this concept. That means that the Rebbeinu Shem said that it was the korbanos were painful because to come and to bring the korban and have the Leviim sing, and the person should so stark not get it, it's too painful. It's too painful. Maybe the shtickle distance, and then adarabah, then there's a shtickle tshuka. Then the child wants to see the father already. Oh, sometimes they do that in Shalom Bayis. That if is going to be a shtickle distance, maybe it could build some kind of emotion, some kind of wanting to be together. Oh, the must come and we can start working on it. It has to come out, the inner emissative feeling of wanting to have this relationship with the Rebbeinu Shalom. Now, in our life, when we are in Galus, it's a very, very big avodah to try to have that emissary relationship with the Rebbeinu Shalom. It should be in such a kind of a form, it should be in such a mahalach. Because when a person does Torah mitzvahs and does it wrong, you have to watch out how we say it, but in a certain sense it could be more painful. Torah could be samamoves. Why is that? Like the marshal we said earlier. Because if a person is not capable of something, or the person wasn't home, the person yet is not that madrega, okay. But if the person is turning things around messy, even let's say chesed, person does chesed, it's fascinating. But if the whole moyach of the person that's doing the chesed officially is how to get credit and who knows about it and posting it all over the place, and it's more like a business, it hurts because chesed is so beautiful to mess it up. Why we take something so nice, so Yiddish, so and use it for something else? That means you're so disconnected from the Rebbeinu Shalom that you're already here, you're already by the Rebbeinu Shalom, and you don't have the nakuda. Sometimes you could have it, a person's davening. Davening is a relationship with the Rebbeinu Shalom. The Eibusha created us and is being mefarnas us. Not only financially, everything. They were just giving us food and life and oxygen. And when a person meets the Creator, talks, he's so big, he's so huge. So imagine, and never, it happens a lot, that his rakshas from meeting the Eibusha, it was nothing around. All the other brachas, there was nothing going on. The matzav of tefillah was a tool how to talk to the Rebbeinu about my mortgage is not going through. That's like the kuda. So again, it's better than not remembering the Rebbeinu b'chlal, but in a certain sense, you're waiting. The Eibush is like waiting for something to come, and nothing came. The Eibush said anything else, and the person said no thanks. I'm good. If you could take care of the mortgage. So there's no relationship. It's more like an ATM machine. So there's no relationship. It's I need this. So I'm not connected. That's painful. Now, how does a person work on it to build it? And that's how we build our own Geula. That's how we build that Mishkan. One of the main nakudas how to build it is, why do people enjoy relationships? The answer is because it gives them something. It gives them erech to themselves. They feel good. It gives them that they're less lonely, someone understands them. When we could understand with the pashtus that the relationship with the Rebbeinu gives you even olam hasadik, even very on a simple matter, it gives you what you need. What are you looking for? whatever you're really looking for, the Eibishter is there to give it to you better than anything else. That's it. We'll explain it. Then a person could train the mind to run towards it, to enjoy it, to want it, because like they enjoy any other relationship. It's better, broader, deeper, more emes and more tachlasdik. But they could try to build it. Our concept of the Rebbeinu Shalom is many times not related that the Eibishter gives me good. So many times it's okay, Baruch Hashem. We say it with Baruch Hashem, but Lamaisa, they feel when they know that there's a Rebbeinu Shalom, something happened, and they believe the Eibishter is talking to me. The Eibishter spoke to you when he gave you breakfast as well. And anything that the Eibishter gave you, the health and its pshat is the Eibishter is giving you. Here and there, the Eibishter has to tighten a screw. So there could be something that's not exactly the way you want, because it's better for you. But the whole toiv is relationship with the Rebbeinu Shalom. The Eibishter is giving you constantly. That's the yesod of all the toiv you have. And if a person tries to live it, that I'm thinking about the Rebbeinu Shalom while I'm enjoying. So by a big event, sometimes it's much easier. Person is marrying over a child. They know what nisim are involved. They know for a little tiny fraction of what was going on. They were part. They knew. They were aware because it was so scary, and they saw it nisim. So then they're overwhelmed with emotion that the relationship is being mative. But it's happening every day, and we're enjoying it every day. But we're not connecting it to the relationship. So what happens is that we don't build that relationship. It's more like Yida, like an Eved. It's not that I like to be here. I like to think about the Eibishter. Someone once told me that you see that certain chassidim or any Talmud of a Rosh Hashiva, you come into the person's dining room, they have a big nice picture of their Rosh Hashiva, of their Rebbe. What's psychologically, what's behind that? There can be many reasons, but usually when it's coming from a healthy place, the concept is that if it's not only identity, sometimes it's more like it makes him feel good. Why does it make him feel good? Because it reminds him that this is where I got chiyas. This is where I got positive energy. So I like to see that image. I like to see it. It gives me geschmack. That helps a person understand what's a mezuzah. That means the Rebbeinu Shalom is supposed to be programmed in the mind. The Rebbeinu Shalom, which is the one that gave me my tainu. Wow. Every time I think about the Rebbeinu Shalom, I remind myself, not about a certain nest that came after a scary matzah. I remind myself of the toiv that the Eibush is giving me, and it's coming from a hab. The Eibush's hatova to a person comes from the Rebbeinu Shalom loves the Yid, and does for him, and daiges for him, and the Chavis Avovas, everything. So every time I think about the Rebbeinu Shalom, it reminds me of the relationship with the Rebbeinu Shalom. Thinking about it is the dua mitzvah from Schiras Hashem. There's a mitzvah to think about the Eibishter. The Machlokas Yishoina, what's the makor from this mitzvah? If it's Zacharto or Ladaf Kaboy, there's more. But certainly Yishoina explain. That's what I mean. Think about the presence of the Eibishter. That's all. But thinking about the presence of the Rebbeinu Shalom needs that a person should be thinking about the toiv from the Rebbeinu Shalom. So when you're thinking about it, you're also appreciating it. So you're bringing your mind to think about it again. Then when a person has a relationship, then a person feels bad that they were mitzvah the Shechina. They feel bad because they feel now I shouldn't have done that. I must have hurt the Eibishter. They come. They want to fix. Let me fix. Then a person, the chatoim could turn into kirva. It's fascinating. That means it could turn into a matzav of bringing a chatas and oil, which is maimed is a beautiful maimed. But if there's no relationship, then that maimed is just explaining the problem. It's like the churm. The churban b'sifarta when you watch all the Avedas. So, if we build relationship, then even if we have issues, dealing with those issues could be a form of kirva. When the child, imagine, your child comes to you, I think I'm going to need an hour with you. You have time for me tonight? I want to discuss. I want to use your wisdom. I want to hear from your experience. It's a nice time. It's one of the nicest forms of relationship when there's a eitze, okay, gewaldig, and b'mitei chachnoa. That could be the name of the maimed while you're talking to the Rebbeinu Shalom about issues. That's what's happening. But it's only b'tanai if there's a warm shayches with Eibishter, and the shayches with Eibishter is built on that remembering the Tov. Another nakuda what builds relationship, very, very, very important. See, the Eibishter with Yiddish Kinder is like there's Ava Ben, but then there's even more. Look, Shia Ashirim, Rayosi, Mamish, like a Ish v'Isha. It sounds, if we're Mizboinen, it sounds very far. The Melech Malach HaMlocha, when a pitzy human being, it doesn't make any sense. How could it be a shayches that you should be able to give it a name that is a shayches? It's too far apart that there should be able to be a shayches. But if we look around, we find something fascinating. That relationships are not built on being on the same level, because many relationships is built on being on the same level. That's not a t'nai. You could have it all the way from a Rebbe and a Talmud that are 50 years apart, and it's a true deep relationship. Now they're not on the same stage of life. This boy that's 15 and this Rebbe that's 65. It's not. They're different musagim, but it could be very deep and honest and true. Bechlal the Gemara says, "Itzach gutze gochen v'locheshla." That means sometimes there's a big gap between man and wife. Adarabah, you could try to understand the other party. It's not a breach in the relationship, and then you can have even. Maybe some people are not so aware, but it could even go between a person and a balchai. There's a relationship there. There's a shaykhis, there's a certain caring, and even more than that, you could have someone that said, this tree, ogronama, how do you say, someone that knows how to plant and knows how to give each tree and each plant what they need. A gardener is like a very simple tree hugger. A tree hugger. It's a true zach. And for a person that's far from it, it really sounds funny. The gap is not the nakuda which makes it impossible to have a relationship. But you know what is? When there's no honesty between each other. If one person is lying to the other one, then it's the biggest breach for a relationship, and then it's like, I think that's gesund. The trust, everything goes out the window. Because you're not with me, that's the real nakuda. You're using me, that's the pshat. You're in your own world. You're not sharing with me and not being honest with me. You're living your own life, and I'm in the way. What's the biggest raya that I'm in the way? Because you needed to lie. Because you can't go with the truth, because you're going to get uncomfortable. So when one partner in business found that the other partner is lying to him, then there's going to be a lot of fun. Loshen Sagi Noher. It's a big mess. When in a marriage, lying, it's very painful. Very painful. So you find out that all along the person was lying to me. You can't fall asleep at night. If you find out that all along the person was lying to you, it's who deep. What happened? The person's the same geschmacka person, and the person's the same level like you. The person didn't bavel you, but they just lied. Klappe the relationship with the Rebbeinu Shalom. This Nakuda is one of the most important Yesod is how to build shaykhs. How to build it is not technical, it's emotional, it's closeness. I'm a nivra, the Eibush is the boire. Okay, but the Eibush says in the Torah that it's possible. The Eibush is after the Shem Alekecha b'chol havocha. It means it's possible. I don't know how, but it is. It doesn't make the gap smaller. But what does is that when a person is not being honest with themselves, not being honest, they're like, no, because he told me, I didn't really mean it. They're messed up. They can't get themselves to say the reason why I did that was because I made a mistake, and they explained to them that was my mistake, and I'm dead embarrassed. I'm coming to you because I'm so schwach. That honesty, build it. The Eibush says, if you really mean it, I'm here. I'm here for you. Adarabba, adarabba, adarabba. Let's see, let's fix it. We're gonna work on it. I'm gonna help you. Bolatar Messiah, no Yesod. It's also the Nakuda in Bitochen. It sounds like there's a machloikis. B'tzad echod, there's the posik, Rabbi Machoy Rosha, V'v'teich B'Hashem Chesed Esevivenu. So the Medrash says, Afilu Rosha B'teich B'Hashem Chesed Esevivenu. If you have Bitochen, even if you're a Rosha, it's called Bitochen. B'tzad Sheni, Chavisavova says that a person that's doing Averis, and while they're doing the Averis, they think that they could have Bitochen, is a sochol. He's a shoiter. And it sounds very scary that Chavis Lavovas, because who could say that they're 100%, that so my whole Bitochen is only if I'm perfect? So when is Bitochen? I'm not perfect, I made many mistakes. It's a very simple answer. There's a difference between a person that's here, and he's straightforward, and he's honest, and he's emotionally gesund. He's healthy. So there's a mistake, and he's honest about it, and he's open about it, and he really tries. And then there's a person that's messed up with a bunch of sheker. They're honest, and they found the vidui in the siddur, and they say, Amola Gezeiten people did Averis, because why would they put in such stuff? He comes home after Yom Kippur, and he said, I had a beautiful Yom Kippur. Why? Because Baruch Hashem, I saw the Al-Chaitz. Baruch Hashem, I didn't have any of them, and it was really a beautiful year. So it was a beautiful Yom Kippur. I sang along, Shaloi Levayish, all the other people, but I really feel I connected to the most to my father, Taka. We say that Nanachnu, we say, my father needed it. He could use it. Then the person is like, there's nobody home. So you could do mitzvahs, you could do Torah. The person is not honest. So this is the second akuda which builds relationship. They're an open book. An open book. It's so geschmack. It's like you don't have to worry. Those type of people, you have to worry 100 times not to say, because you can't know what the person meant and how the geschmack, soft, open. If we build that with the Eibishter, and that gets built by knowing that Eibishter means our Toiva. Eibishter means our Toiva, so we keep it open and honest with each other. These are two yesodis of relationships, and that Beitzach Kebonis or the Mishkan, that's how we build the Beis Hamikdash. And Derech Agav, that builds also true Bitochen, because Bitochen is really a Shaykhs with the Eibishter. Soll der Eibishter helfen, soll solche sein zu Binyan Beis Hamikdash, beim Heere B'Yameinu.